My people, we're gonna start by Kenya. A lot of bad things are happening in Kenya right now. People are disappearing, people are being unalived, and the government doesn't want to take responsibility. And we're gonna find out what's really happening in Kenya. This is scary. We're gonna follow up now. In the DRC, about 70 people are going to be unalived live. These are civilians. Some of them are young men. Some of them are adolescents. We're gonna find out why. What's up, everybody? I hope you're doing good. It's a beautiful day, but it's very hot. I'm telling you, it's 40 degrees right now. You have no idea. I'm sweating. Look. See that? I don't even have, serviette or something. I don't know what to do. I'm just gonna have to use this. This is for, your glasses. I'm gonna use it for now. I'm sorry. You're gonna excuse me. It's family until I go get. Maybe I'll wash it. If I don't wash it, I get rid of it. Anyway, I don't use the glasses anymore. I salute you. My name is Zack. I don't know who you are. If you watch this video to the end, we're gonna love each other. We really are. We don't play. We don't act. We don't do all that. This is real thing. Don't you sweat? You don't sweat. You do sweat. Don't you forget serviette sometimes? Of course you do. So how do you react when you forget serviette? You do this. Then you act like you didn't do that. Anyway, here we bash everybody, okay? We bash Nigerians, we bash South Africans. Nigerians and South Africa hate it when we bash them. We bash every country. Yeah. Gabon, Swaziland, Uganda, Kenya, Rwanda, you name it, we're gonna bash. We don't care, we're gonna bash. The goal is to bring Africans together so we can reflect and think. I salute you from all over the place, the diaspora, United States of America, the African American community, you're home. The Caribbean, Jamaica, Wagwan, me boss, you're home. You want to know about Africa? You're at the right spot, okay? Even if you're an African and you want to know what's happening in the next African country, you're at the right spot. YouTube say you guys watch videos, but you're not subscribed. Why? I wonder. Please subscribe. You know you like this, right? I like you too. Let's go. So, it's happening in Kenya. Here's a map. Yes, Kenya. We cannot sit here and act like we know that you know where Kenya is, because a lot of you need courses in geography. I'm just kidding. This is Kenya. It's a lovely place. Beautiful people. I spent some of the goodest time I've spent in Africa, in the East, in Kenya. Lovely people. Great ambiance. They love you. They're just happy. It's amazing. However, something really drastic is happening in Kenya right now. There are many incidences of disparizations. Many incidents of abductions, disappearances. Many incidents of torture being reported. Well, nobody's going to acknowledge openly like, we're torturing people. They're not going to do that. But something really bad is happening in Kenya. And right now, there's a young man named Gideon Kibet, best known as Kibet Bull. He's a young cartoonist. So he makes cartoons about political events. So he's been talking very drastically about the government. He's been very honest. People are not happy, and some of the way of expressing yourself is cartoons, because they noticed that back in time when people expressed themselves as free journalists, they disappeared. Therefore, let's maybe use cartoons, but he's designing the president and acting the way he's acting and doing all these type of things. Maybe we can pass our message without necessarily being abducted or being subjected to very harsh laws. Unfortunately, this young man, Gideon Tibet, and his brother have disappeared since some time. Now we're going to talk about this. We don't care whether it's Kenya. There's no such thing as Kenya's affair. South Africa, no, we are involved, because the countries were only created in 1985. Whatever's happening in your country, we're going to open it up and we're going to talk about it. We're going to bash if it's necessary. So the young boy disappeared. He's been criticized for depicting the president in a way that some people did not like. So according to Kenya National Human Rights Commission, in the past 7 months, at least 82 people have been taken and nearly a third of them remain unaccounted for. So people, how do you know about Tibet? Because Tibet is a prominent person. He's a reputable guy. So when he disappears, people notice. Tibet and his brother, Ronnie Kiplagat, went missing in the capital, Nairobi, on Christmas Eve after they met opposition legislator Okia Omtata. So that's what it is. Now, they said the police is behind it. Now, how do they know the police is behind it? Because apparently the police had broken already into his home at 150 kilometers from Nairobi back in time. So the police has been knocking. Okay. Now, the young man has been making pictures of the president since the president has done a few things. Let me give you context quickly. Okay. This is Kenya. Lovely place, beautiful people. A while back, Mr. Ruto, the president, came into power. He said, from now on, nobody will need visa to Kenya.
Let me say this. As Kenya, by the end of this year, no African will be required to have a visa to come to Kenya.
Okay, you can just come whenever you want, no problem, because Kenya apparently is the way, where the first human beings were born, or something like that, where they discovered the first human. Therefore, nobody needs a visa to go to Kenya. People were very happy, very excited. But then later on, it changed. Well, no, you don't need a visa, but before you come, you need to announce yourself online, send your names and everything, and you need to pay $30, okay, before you come. So people go like, but I thought you said no visa, because isn't that a visa? So many people were frustrated. Even the people that could go to Kenya with actually no visa now have to apply for some sort of whatever thing that costs $30 before they go to Kenya. That's very frustrating. Number two, Kenya, just a while back, people were down in the street fighting and pushing. Not happy. Kenyans are not pushover. They're not. They were fighting. Why? Because government via William Ruto came up with the law. What's a law? They were proposing a law on taxing many things of everyday life of poor people. Well, everybody's poor. What do you expect?
Honorable members, the results of the division on second reading of the Finance Bill 2024 is as follows. Ayes 204, nays 115, abstentions nil, so the ayes have it. Order. Take your seat.
The majority of Kenyans are poor. They're not rich. So you want to tax bread? You want to go buy bread? There should be an extra tax over bread. You want to go buy, sanitary pad for women? They need the extra tax for sanitary pad. Well, you even got cancer. You want to go to hospital for treatment. There is an extra tax for cancer. Why? Because government wants funding and government is indebted, and you, the people, needs to get money out of your pockets so the government can have money. In the meantime, government makes money. Where does government make money? Government makes money through the people and other things, but they misuse the money. Yeah, buy big cars, big houses and all that stuff. Spending on areas they shouldn't be spending. Now the people should pay for that. Well, the people of Kenya were not happy with that at all. They came down the street, pushing and pulling. They asked that law to be reversed.
We are not going to sit at home so that they are going to pass another finance bill without our approval. We are going to add our voice to this, and we need them to understand that we are not okaying what they want to force on us.
And they were very successful. After being successful, William Ruto chased some people from government. He said, well, we're going to remove some people from government. Instead of removing himself, he removed some people, making it look like they were the incompetent one. I'm not saying the president is incompetent. I still want to go to Kenya, my friend. I didn't say that. Anyway, what I'm saying is people from Kenya came down the street asking for justice and asking to be treated appropriately. Kenya has been fighting. The doctors in Kenya have been in the street because they are not being paid appropriately. We're talking about doctors working for government hospital. They've been in the street. They asked for better payment. They also asked that if their family members ever had to go to hospital, they shouldn't have to pay. Does that make sense or not? It makes sense, right? Well, you know what they were told? Well, you guys, if you don't want this, we're going to find other doctors to work. So some of them they got rid of some of the doctors.
We value the service they give to our nation, but we must live within our means. The resources we have are only sufficient to pay 70,000 shillings for intern doctors. It is not a salary.
So many Kenyans are not happy, with what's happening with William Ruto. Let me just remind you here, when Ruto came into power, he came nicely. He said some things that really touched many people. Listen to him here talking about the dollar.
And in the middle of all this, we are all subjected to a dollar environment. Kenyans want to pay for Tanzanian goods in dollars. Tanzania wants to pay for DRC goods in dollars. Egypt wants to pay. Why are we bringing dollars in the middle of our trade?
He said, why do we need the dollars to do exchange within Africans? I mean, it sounded like a great idea. This brand new president coming with the idea. You don't need the dollar to buy something from Botswana if you're South African. You don't need the dollar to buy something from Tanzania if you Kenyan or Rwandan or Ugandan. Why do you need the dollar? Just use the local money. People were happy. He came up with a plan saying we can build something. Now, he doesn't talk about these things anymore. He doesn't talk about it. Ruto went to America, discussed with Joe Biden. They received him in biggest way possible. He rented an airplane in millions of dollars while the doctors did not have any money or any salaries. You know what I mean? He sent soldiers to Haiti while the government is receiving money. Then he doesn't talk the same way anymore. He doesn't talk about the dollar anymore. He stayed quiet. So now people are asking for these people to be liberated. There was a bunch of Kenyans that went to the streets walking, asking for the government to free all the people that have been abducted.
Victory is certain. Victory is assured.
And those people were beaten up. They sprayed them with all that police stuff, and it was savage. So this is what's happening in Kenya, my fellas. So the entire Africa is calling for the liberation of this cartoonist named Gideon Kibet. Yeah, people should have the right to design your face. It's okay, nothing wrong with that. I mean, great titles come with great responsibilities. If you want to be president, you should be ready to accept to be criticized. And I don't think this is necessarily what Ruto's doing. It's maybe somebody somewhere up there, you know, who want to be liked by Ruto, who's given himself the task of abducting people in the name of Ruto so he can, you know, get graded or considered or given a position, you know, or respect because he's fighting for the president. It's not necessarily the president that's ordering those arrests or those acts of, you know what I mean? And now we go to the Democratic Republic of Congo. Fellas, very hot. Now in Congo, they're going to unalive a lot of people, okay? A few weeks ago, some 102 men were unalived by the Congolese government. They are said to be men between 18 and 35. They were armed robbers, human bandits, locally known as Kulunas. So these guys apparently do some of the worst things you can possibly think about. They are youngsters, okay? Youngsters sleeping in the street, homeless for most of them. They will block you through the street late in the evenings, you know. They will block you, they will stop you, they will search you, they take your cell phone, they take your wallet, you know. And in most cases, unfortunately, they will do bad things. Apparently back in time, they will just rob you and you will just go. But now they will not just rob you, they will also, you know, they'll do, you know, and yeah. So that's very, very bad. And they're not scared of the police. They're not scared of nobody. They are not afraid. They will come into your house. They come like 20 of them, jump in the house and go do things. And sometimes they fight each other from different clans. If the Kulunas from one area go to the other area's turf, they fight each other. And it's mayhem. And the police is not doing anything about it. Now, government has listened to the population because people are suffering.
Nous avons arrêté 784 individus, identifiés et fichés d'ailleurs. C'est des personnes, pour la plupart, qui sont dans le fichier criminel de la police nationale congolaise, que nous déférons devant les juges. Il faut laisser maintenant à ce pouvoir, qui est un pouvoir indépendant, le pouvoir judiciaire, il faut lui donner l'amabilité et le temps de faire son travail.
The neighborhood are empty because these guys are just mayhem. And the youngsters, they have no respect. They do worse, bad things you can think about, you know, and that's what it is. Now the government has decided, you know what? For every person amongst those guys that are doing wrong things, they're going to be analyzed.
Faire exécuter peine de mort ndenge boyebi ezalaka par fusillade topé par pendaison. Et ko servir na leçon. Now,
my question is, how do you feel about that? So 102 were unalived already. Now they have 70 more that's going to be unalived in the coming week. How do you feel about that? Yes, I know many people have also been unalived by these guys. They have hurt many guys. many women. They have stolen from the poor woman selling bananas in the street. They have stolen from the poor woman selling tomatoes and onions in the street. You know, they've done many negative things. Now, my question is, how do you feel about this? Because the bottom line is this one. If you allow another man in the country to utilize weapons and set his own rules, well, government is losing power, right? And how do you think they're going to stop doing that if they're making money out of it? And the punishment is just throw him in jail for a few months until his family members bring some money, then they make him escape. Then he get back in the street and go redo the same thing. Do you think it's worth it? It makes sense that they do that. So the country that's actually going through some of the worst moments possible, war on the east, anger, lack of food, difficulties, could actually get rid of one problem. Well, many people in the Congo are happy about this, and some people are not happy because they're saying it's against God. God wouldn't allow that. Where was God when those guys were unaliving other people? I mean, it's just a question. Don't take it up on me. I'm just asking. I mean, where was God when these people were doing things to young girls? You know what I'm saying? I'm just asking. Well, then, you know what I mean? Let me know how you feel about this. In Kenya, yeah, some people have been abducted. The government of Kenya, through William Ruto, say he's going to do everything he can so there's no more abduction.
Na yale yamesemekana mambo ya abduction tutakomesha. Ndio vijana wa Kenya waweze kuishi kwa amani na vile vile wawe na nidhamu na wawe wangwana tuweze kujenga Kenya tukiwa pamoja.
That is, in a way, it's a way of acknowledging that there is adoption or not. If Ruto says we're going to try our best not to be abductions anymore, does that mean there is abductions or not? There you go. So this cartoonist has been locked up and people are asking for him to be freed because, yeah, that's just bad. In the DRC, they're going to unalive some youngsters, 70. 103 were unalive a week ago. Now they're going to unalive more. How do you feel about that? Do you feel that's the right way to go to cleanse the city, cleanse the country? Because some people are just not nice people. Because if you send them to jail, they're eventually going to come out. And when they come out, they don't change. They're going to go back in the same, doing the same thing and doing things to people. How do you feel about that? Let me know how you feel about this. God bless.